The floor beneath me is cold stone. Not the warm, inviting kind. The kind that seeps through your clothes and makes you feel like you're already buried. The sounds above me are muffled, distant conversations mixing with the clinking of glasses and the occasional burst of laughter. It's a community hall, I think. Some kind of gathering. I wasn't supposed to be here. Daniel dragged me along to some political meeting, something about territories and borders and alliances I don't understand and honestly don't care about. But here's the thing about being in an abusive marriage that nobody tells you. You stop caring about a lot of things. You stop caring about what's happening in the world because your world has shrunk down to four walls and a man's temper. You stop caring about your dreams because survival becomes the only dream that matters. Pause for a second. Just pause with me here. Have you ever had a moment where you felt like you were hiding from something or someone? Maybe not literally under a table, but emotionally? Spiritually? That place where you just want to disappear because the weight of being seen, being found, being confronted. It's too much? Take a moment and think about it. Really think about it. Because that's where I am right now. And the rain outside. I can hear it even from under here. It's relentless. Heavy drops hitting the windows like they're trying to break through. The scent of wet earth seeps in through cracks in the old building, mixing with the smell of candle wax and something else, something almost wild. Pine? Cedar? I don't know. But it makes this whole place feel even more suffocating, even more isolating. You'd think being in a room full of people would make you feel less alone, right? But it doesn't. Not when you're hiding. Not when you're the only one who knows what you're running from. I can feel the bruises on my arm throbbing. They're fresh, just from this morning. Daniel didn't like the way I looked at him over breakfast. Or maybe it was the way I didn't look at him. I can't remember anymore. Does it even matter? The reasons stopped mattering after a while.
It's always something.
The coffee's too cold. The eggs are too runny. I smiled at the mailman. I didn't smile enough at his friends. The rules keep changing and I keep failing. But tonight I'm running. No plan. No destination. Just escape. Somewhere I can breathe again. Somewhere I can remember what it feels like to be me. I didn't know where to go, where I could be safe. It felt like the world had forgotten about people like me. But what if you can make a difference? You're watching, so why not subscribe and help change lives like mine? Above me, I hear voices. They're getting clearer now, like my brain is adjusting to the chaos, filtering through the noise to find the important parts. Men mostly. Deep voices discussing things that sound important. Serious. Dangerous, even. The northern border is compromised, someone says. The voice is rough, like gravel. We need to make a decision tonight. We can't rush this, another voice responds, smoother but no less authoritative. One wrong move and we're looking at war.
War.
The word hangs in the air like smoke. I feel it settle over me, adding to the weight already pressing down on my chest. These aren't normal people. I knew that when Daniel brought me here, but I didn't understand it. Not really. These are alphas. Leaders. The kind of men who control territories, who command loyalty, who make decisions that affect hundreds, maybe thousands of lives. And I'm just me. A woman hiding under a table because she's terrified of her own husband. The irony isn't lost on me. What about the Eastern Alliance? That voice. It cuts through the conversation like a blade.
Clean.
Sharp. Commanding. I feel something shift in the air when he speaks. Even from under here, even without seeing him, I can feel the power in that voice. Did you catch that? Did you feel the shift? It's like when someone walks into a room and everything changes. The energy, the attention, even the way people breathe, it all adjusts to accommodate them. Have you ever met someone like that? Someone who commands a room without even trying?
Could you do that?
Grayson. Someone says the name with a mixture of respect and something else. Fear? Admiration? Maybe both. What's your take on this? Grayson. So that's his name. The voice that just sent a chill down my spine belongs to someone named Grayson. My take, he says, and I find myself holding my breath, is that we're asking the wrong questions. This isn't about borders or alliances. This is about trust. And right now, I don't trust any of you. Silence. Complete, absolute silence. The kind of silence that makes your ears ring. Then laughter. A woman's laughter, bright and confident, cutting through the tension like it's nothing. Well, at least he's honest, she says. I can hear the smile in her voice. That's why we keep you around, King.
King.
He's not just any alpha. He's the Alpha King. And I'm hiding under a table in his territory.
Perfect.
Just perfect. I used to laugh like that, you know. Bright and confident and free. Before everything changed. Before I learned that laughter could be dangerous, that joy could be punishable, that being too happy meant I wasn't taking things seriously enough. Can you remember the last time you laughed without calculating whether it was safe to do so? Without wondering if someone would use your happiness against you? My legs are cramping. I need to shift position, but I'm terrified to move. Terrified that the slightest sound will draw attention. That someone will look down and see me. That Daniel will find me. Because he's looking. I know he is. I saw the moment he realized I wasn't beside him anymore. Saw that flash in his eyes. The one that means trouble. The one that means consequences. I should have been smarter about this. Should have waited until we were home, until I had an actual plan. But something in me just broke. Snapped. Couldn't take one more second of standing beside him, playing the dutiful wife, pretending everything was fine while my body ached and my soul screamed. You know what's funny? People always ask why women don't just leave. Why we stay. Why we don't just walk out the door and never look back. Like it's that simple. Like there's not 1,000 invisible chains holding us in place.
Fear. Shame.
Financial dependence. Nowhere to go. No one to believe us. The certainty that leaving might be the most dangerous thing we could ever do. So we stay. And we shrink. And we hide under tables at political gatherings, hoping that maybe, just maybe, this time we'll find a way out. The voices above continue their debate. Something about trade routes and territorial disputes and blood oaths. It all sounds like another world. A world I don't belong to and don't understand. But that voice. Grayson's voice. It keeps drawing me back. There's something about it that feels different. Not soft, exactly. Not gentle. But honest.
Real.
Like he's not playing a game, not putting on a show. Just saying exactly what he thinks. Consequences be damned. What would that be like? To say exactly what you think. To not filter every word through a screen of, will this make him angry? Or, is this the right thing to say? The tablecloth shifts. My heart stops. I freeze, every muscle in my body locking up, my breath caught somewhere between my lungs and my throat. Someone's crouching down. I can see the shadow through the thin fabric, see the shape of a hand reaching for the edge. This is it. I've been found. Daniel's going to drag me out of here, and everyone's going to see, and he's going to smile that charming smile and make some joke about his clumsy wife, and I'm going to have to laugh along and pretend everything's fine, and the hand pulls back the cloth. But it's not Daniel's hand. It's larger, rougher, scarred and calloused, the hand of someone who's done real work, real fighting. And when I follow the hand up to the face crouching down to meet my eyes, I forget how to breathe for an entirely different reason. Gray eyes. Storm cloud gray. Intense and penetrating, like they can see straight through every wall I've ever built. A strong jaw, dark hair that's slightly too long, falling across his forehead. A face that's handsome in a harsh, uncompromising way, not pretty, but powerful.
Real.
You're bleeding, he says. His voice is quieter now, meant just for me. But it still carries that same commanding quality. And he's right. I am bleeding. I hadn't even noticed. My hand, where I scraped it on the rough edge of the table when I dove under here. It's not bad, just a scratch, but there's blood on my fingers. Okay, imagine this. Just imagine it for a second. You're hiding from everything that's ever hurt you. You're at your absolute lowest point. You're broken and scared and just trying to survive. And this man, this complete stranger, just looks at you and says something you didn't expect. Not, what are you doing? Or, you can't be here, or let me get your husband. Just, you're bleeding. Like your pain matters. Like he sees it. Really sees it. How do you feel in that moment? I don't know what to say. My mouth opens, but no words come out. I'm not ready for this.
Who is he?
Why is he looking at me like that, like he sees something nobody else does? Like, I'm not just a broken thing hiding under a table, but a person worth noticing? I'm fine. I finally managed to whisper. It's a lie. We both know it's a lie. But it's the lie I've been telling for so long. It comes out automatically. His eyes, Grayson's eyes, I know it's him even though we haven't been introduced. Narrow slightly. Not with anger, but with something else. Understanding, maybe? He doesn't call out my lie. Doesn't push. Just stays crouched there, his presence somehow both overwhelming and comforting at the same time. What's your name? He asks. Such a simple question. But when was the last time someone asked me that? When was the last time someone wanted to know who I was, not who I belonged to? Elena, I breathe. Elena. He says it like he's tasting the word, testing it out. I'm Grayson. And you're safe here. Safe. What a word. What a concept. I don't even know what that means anymore. Do you? Do you know what it means to feel safe? Not just physically, but in every way that matters? Safe to be yourself. To speak your mind. To make mistakes without fearing retribution? Above us, the conversation continues, but it feels distant now, like it's happening in another world. This moment, this strange, impossible moment, feels separate from everything else. A pocket of reality that exists just for us. I should go, I say, but I don't move.
Can't move.
Something about his presence is anchoring me here, making the thought of going back out there, back to Daniel, feel impossible. Should you? Grayson asks. It's not challenging, just curious. Like he's genuinely asking whether that's what I want, or what I think I'm supposed to want. The difference is everything. My husband, I start. The man looking for you. It's not a question. The one who's currently working himself into a rage at the front of the hall. My blood runs cold. He's here? He's been looking for you for the past 10 minutes. Getting louder with each passing moment. Grayson's expression doesn't change, but something dark flickers in those gray eyes. The man doesn't seem to understand the concept of discretion. That's Daniel.
Loud.
Demanding. Always sure he deserves everyone's attention, everyone's obedience. I need to go to him, I say, and I hate how small my voice sounds. How defeated. Do you? Again, that simple question. But it's not simple at all, is it? Think about it. Really think about it. Do you think there's a moment in every relationship when you know it's over? When you know you need to leave, but something keeps you trapped? Fear? Hope? The sunk cost of all those years invested? The belief that maybe, just maybe, things will get better? When do you know? How do you know? He's my husband, I say, like that explains everything. Like it justifies everything. Grayson is quiet for a moment, his eyes never leaving mine. Then he says, very carefully, very deliberately, that doesn't answer my question.
And he's right.
It doesn't. I look down at my hands, at the blood on my fingers, at the bruises on my wrists, purple and yellow and ugly, at the wedding ring that suddenly feels like a shackle. I don't know what to do, I admit. It's the first truly honest thing I've said in longer than I can remember. I can't go back to him. But I don't know where to go. I don't have any money, any friends, any family who would understand. I don't have anything except I trail off because what do I have? What's left of me after years of being worn down, piece by piece? Except the courage to hide under a table at a gathering of alpha kings, Grayson finishes. There's something in his voice, not quite humor, but not entirely serious either. That takes guts, Elena.
Guts.
Is that what this is? It feels more like desperation. Like the last gasping breath of a drowning person. I didn't know where else to go, I whisper. And yet you ended up here. In my territory. Under my table. He tilts his head slightly. Maybe not such a random choice after all. Before I can respond, before I can even process what he means, a voice cuts through the air. A voice I know too well. Elena. Daniel's voice.
Loud. Angry.
Getting closer. My entire body goes rigid. Every instinct screams at me to make myself smaller, to hide better, to disappear completely. I'm shaking. I can't help it. The fear is so deep, so ingrained, that it overrides everything else. Imagine you're in my shoes right now. Actually imagine it. You know he's close. You know he's coming for you. You know that when he finds you, there will be consequences. What's going through your mind in those moments?
Panic?
Resignation? A desperate hope that maybe this time will be different? Grayson's hand moves. Not toward me, he doesn't touch me, but in a gesture that somehow feels protective anyway. He stands, his body blocking the view under the table, and I hear him say in that commanding voice, "Can I help you?" "My wife," Daniel says, and I can hear the barely controlled rage underneath his polite tone. I seem to have lost track of her. You haven't seen a woman about this tall, dark hair, probably looking confused. Like I'm some helpless child who got turned around in a grocery store. Not a grown woman who ran away from him. "There are several women here tonight," Grayson says, his voice neutral. "You'll have to be more specific." "Elena," Daniel snaps. "Her name is Elena. She's my wife, and she needs to come home."
Now.
Needs to come home. Like I'm a piece of property that's wandered off. I'm holding my breath again, my hand pressed against my mouth to keep any sound from escaping. My heart is beating so hard it hurts. I want to disappear. I want the floor to open up and swallow me whole. But then Grayson says something that changes everything. If she needed to come home, I imagine she would have done so already. Silence. The kind of silence that feels like the moment before lightning strikes. "Excuse me?" Daniel's voice is dangerous now. The voice that means someone's about to pay. Usually me. "Your wife," Grayson says, and there's steel in his voice now, the kind that makes it clear he's not someone to be trifled with, is a grown woman capable of making her own decisions. If she's not by your side, perhaps you should ask yourself why. "Who the hell do you think you are?" "Grayson, Alpha King of the Northern Territory. And you're in my hall, making a scene at my gathering. So I'll ask you again. Can I help you?" The title hangs in the air. Alpha King. The words carry weight, authority, power that even Daniel, in all his rage and entitlement, can't ignore. I can practically feel Daniel recalculating, trying to figure out how to handle this. He's good at that. Good at adjusting his approach depending on who he's talking to. Charm for those who might be useful. Intimidation for those who won't push back. Violence for those who can't fight back. But an Alpha King? That's someone even Daniel can't push around. "I apologize," Daniel says, and his tone shifts to something more conciliatory. More calculated. "I'm just worried about my wife. She hasn't been feeling well lately."
Confused.
Emotional. You know how women can be. Like we're all just hysterical, irrational creatures who need men to guide us, to control us, to tell us what we're really feeling. Does that make you angry? It should. It makes me furious. But the fury is buried so deep under layers of fear and conditioning that I can barely feel it anymore. "I know how men can be when they're looking for someone who doesn't want to be found," Grayson says, and his voice has gone cold. "I suggest you give your wife some space. If she wants to return to you, she knows where you are." "She's not well," Daniel insists. "She needs her medication. If she needs anything, I'm sure she'll ask for it." The dismissal is clear. Final. And I can hear Daniel struggling with it, can practically see him clenching his fists, fighting the urge to escalate this into something more. But he can't. Not here. Not with an Alpha King who's already made his position clear. "This isn't over," Daniel says, quiet and venomous. "Elena is my wife. She belongs to me." "People don't belong to other people," Grayson replies. "Not in my territory." Footsteps. Daniel walking away. But I know him. I know this isn't over. He'll be back. He'll find another way. He always does. Grayson crouches back down, that gray gaze finding me again. He's gone. For now. "He'll be back," I whisper. "He always comes back. Then he'll find you're no longer available." I stare at him. What does that mean? Is he offering protection?
Why? He doesn't know me.
Doesn't owe me anything. Men like him, powerful men, they don't help women like me. They don't see us. And when they do, it's usually not to help. I know this is a lot to process. This man, this stranger, is offering protection. But does it feel like the right choice to you? Or are you questioning his motives? Because I am. God, I am. Why? I ask. Why are you helping me? Grayson is quiet for a moment, considering the question. Then he says, because I've seen what men like him do. And I've decided I don't tolerate it in my territory. It's not a grand declaration. Not a romantic gesture. Just a simple statement of fact. But something about it feels more real, more trustworthy than any flowery promise could be. I don't have anywhere to go, I admit. I don't have money or clothes or anything. I just ran. Then we'll figure it out. Together. He extends his hand, not to pull me out, but as an offer.
A choice.
When you're ready. When you're ready. Not come with me now, or you have to trust me, or any of the demands I'm so used to. Just when I'm ready. Let's stop here for a moment. Think about someone who's ever offered you unconditional support. No strings attached. No expectations. No ulterior motives. Just genuine care and respect for your autonomy. What did it feel like? Can you trust it again? Should you? I look at his hand. Scarred, calloused, strong. A hand that's done damage, probably. But also a hand that's been extended in peace. In choice. Slowly, my own hand trembling, I reach out and take it. His grip is firm but careful, like he's aware of his own strength and consciously tempering it. He helps me out from under the table, doesn't pull or yank, just supports as I unfold myself from the cramped space. Standing feels strange. My legs are shaky. My whole body is shaking actually. The adrenaline is starting to crash, and I'm suddenly exhausted beyond measure. Grayson steadies me, his hand on my elbow. When's the last time you ate?
I have to think about it.
Breakfast? No, I couldn't eat breakfast. My stomach was too knotted with anxiety. Dinner last night? Maybe. I don't remember. I don't know, I admit. He nods, like this confirms something he already suspected.
Come on.
Let's get you somewhere safe, get you fed, and then we'll figure out the rest. But the meeting can wait. This is more important.
Me.
I'm more important than whatever political machinations are happening in this hall. The thought is so foreign, so unexpected, that I almost don't believe it. He guides me through the crowd, not pushing, not dragging, just creating a path with his presence alone. People part for him automatically, their conversations pausing as we pass. I can feel their eyes on me, their curiosity, their judgment probably. But Grayson doesn't seem to care. He just keeps moving, keeps that steady hand on my elbow, anchoring me. We exit through a side door into a hallway that's blessedly quiet. The noise of the gathering fades behind us, replaced by the sound of rain and my own shaky breathing. Where are we going? I ask. My office. It's private. Safe. You can catch your breath there. His office. In his territory. With him. Every rational part of my brain is screaming that this is dangerous, that I don't know this man, that I'm trading one form of captivity for another. But the quieter part, the part that's been screaming for help for so long, that part is saying maybe, just maybe, this is different. We walk in silence, my wet shoes squeaking on the polished floor. I'm leaving a trail of rainwater and probably blood from my scraped hand. I'm making a mess. Daniel would be furious. But Grayson doesn't comment on it. Doesn't seem to care. His office is at the end of the hallway, behind a heavy wooden door. He opens it and gestures for me to enter first. Another choice. Another moment where he's giving me the power to decide. I step inside. The room is not what I expected. I thought it would be ostentatious, showy, full of trophies and displays of power. But it's surprisingly simple. A large desk covered in papers. Bookshelves lined with actual books, well-worn and clearly read. A fireplace with a low fire burning. 2 comfortable-looking chairs facing it. It feels lived in.
Real.
like a place where actual work gets done, not just a showcase. Sit, Grayson says, gesturing to one of the chairs. I'll get the first aid kit. I sink into the chair, and it's so comfortable I could cry. When's the last time I sat in a chair this comfortable? When's the last time I was allowed to just sit without having to be useful, productive, serving someone? Grayson returns with a small kit and kneels in front of me. May I? He asks, gesturing to my injured hand.
May I?
He's asking permission to help me, to touch me. I nod, not trusting my voice. He takes my hand gently, examining the scrape. His touch is careful, professional. He cleans the wound with antiseptic. I wince, but he murmurs a quiet apology and bandages it with practiced efficiency. You've done this before, I observe. Battlefield medicine. You learn quickly when lives depend on it. Battlefield.
Right.
He's not just an alpha king in title. He's fought, led troops, made life and death decisions. And yet here he is, gently bandaging a stranger's scraped hand. The bruises, he says quietly, his eyes on the marks on my wrist. How long? I want to lie. Want to make up some story about being clumsy, about accidents. But I'm so tired of lying. 3 years, I whisper. Since about 6 months after the wedding. His jaw tightens, but he doesn't say anything. Just finishes bandaging my hand and sits back on his heels.
3 years, he repeats.
And tonight you finally ran. Tonight I finally couldn't take it anymore. There's a difference. He considers this. Maybe. Or maybe tonight you finally found the courage that's been building for 3 years.
Courage.
That word again. Is that what this is? Or is it just desperation dressed up as bravery? How would it feel to be seen and protected without judgment?
Think about that.
Really think about it. When was the last time you felt that way? When was the last time someone looked at your worst moment and didn't condemn you for it, didn't blame you for it, didn't make you feel like you deserved it? I don't feel courageous, I admit. I feel terrified. Courage isn't the absence of fear, Grayson says. It's acting despite it. And you acted. You ran. You hid. You survived. That's courage. Tears sting my eyes. I blink them back furiously because I've learned that crying makes things worse, that tears are a sign of weakness, that showing emotion is dangerous. But Grayson doesn't look disgusted or annoyed. He just waits. Patient. Present. I don't know what to do next, I confess. I don't have a plan. I didn't think past getting away from him. Then we'll make a plan. Together. He stands, moving to the desk. First things first. You need food, rest, and safety. I can provide all three. Why? The question bursts out of me. Why would you do this for me? You don't know me. I'm nobody. Just some random woman who hid under your table. He turns to look at me, those storm gray eyes intense. You're not nobody, Elena. You're someone who's been through hell and came out the other side still fighting. That's not nobody. That's extraordinary. Extraordinary.
Me.
The broken woman hiding under tables. Extraordinary. I don't believe him. Can't believe him. But God, I want to. I have safe houses throughout the territory, he continues, all business now. Places where people can go when they need protection. You can stay in one until we figure out a more permanent solution. And, Daniel, will be informed that you're under my protection, and any attempt to contact you or harm you will be considered an act of aggression against my territory. If he's smart, he'll back off. And if he's not smart, Grayson's smile is cold. Then he'll learn to be. There's a knock at the door. Grayson tenses slightly, positioning himself between me and the entrance. Yes, it's Marcus. The human just demanded to be let back in. Says he won't leave without his wife. The human. That's what they call non-alphas, I realize. Daniel is human. Normal. Powerless compared to these beings. And yet he's still so powerful over me. Tell him she's not here, Grayson says. He's insisting on searching the building. Then tell him if he doesn't leave peacefully in the next 5 minutes, I'll have him removed forcibly and banned from my territory permanently. A pause. Understood. Footsteps retreat. We're alone again. He won't give up, I say. Daniel doesn't accept no for an answer. Then he's going to learn a hard lesson about what happens when you push an alpha king too far. The certainty in his voice should comfort me. But all I can think about is the consequences. Daniel's rage when he doesn't get his way. The lengths he'll go to reassert control. You don't understand, I say desperately.
He'll come after you.
He'll find a way to hurt you, to hurt your people, to make you regret helping me. He always finds a way. Grayson crouches in front of me again, bringing himself to eye level. Elena, look at me. I do. Those gray eyes hold mine unwavering. It's hard to trust again after everything that's happened, but I can feel something changing in me, something like hope. You've come this far with me, don't leave now. If you care about seeing me thrive, subscribe and stay on this journey. I've faced down armies, he says quietly. I've negotiated with tyrants and fought against odds that would make most men flee. Your husband is one man with an inflated sense of his own importance and a pattern of abusing someone who couldn't fight back. He doesn't scare me. He should, I whisper. He's dangerous.
So am I.
The difference is, I choose to use that danger to protect, not to harm.
Protect.
Such a simple word. Such a powerful promise. Can you trust a promise like that? Should you? When someone offers protection, how do you know if they're genuine or if it's just another form of control? How do you know the difference between a protector and a jailer? I don't know the answer. I want to trust him. Want to believe that this is real, that he's different, that maybe I've stumbled into something safe. But trust is a luxury I haven't been able to afford in a long time. I need you to understand something. I say carefully. I can't just jump from one situation to another. I need space.
Time.
I need to figure out who I am without someone telling me. Understood. Grayson says immediately. This is your choice, Elena.
Every step of the way.
You want to stay in a safe house and never speak to me again?
Fine.
You want help finding a job, a new place, a fresh start? I'll provide resources and then step back. You want to talk, you need support, you have questions? I'm here. But the choice is always yours. The choice is always yours. When's the last time someone said that to you and meant it? When's the last time someone gave you real agency, real power over your own life? I'm crying now.
Can't help it.
The tears are streaming down my face, and I'm shaking with the force of emotions I've kept locked down for so long. And Grayson doesn't tell me to stop. Doesn't tell me I'm being dramatic or emotional or irrational. He just reaches for a box of tissues on his desk and hands it to me. Thank you. I manage between sobs. You don't have to thank me for basic human decency. But I do. Because basic human decency has been in such short supply in my life that it feels like a miracle. I cry for a while. He lets me. Doesn't try to fix it or stop it or make it about him. Just sits in the other chair and waits until the storm passes. When I finally calm down enough to speak, I ask, what happens now? Now, Grayson says, I call someone to take you to the safe house. You get some rest. Tomorrow, we'll talk about options. Resources. What you need to feel secure. And Daniel? Leave Daniel to me. There's something in his voice, a promise of consequences, of justice, of protection. It should scare me. This kind of power, this kind of authority. But instead, it feels like relief. Like maybe for the first time in 3 years, someone else will handle the monster. And I can just breathe. Okay, I say. Okay. He makes a call. A woman named Sarah will be here in 10 minutes to escort me to the safe house. She's kind, Grayson assures me.
Trustworthy.
A former abuse survivor herself, who now helps others in similar situations. The 10 minutes pass in comfortable silence. Well, comfortable for him. I'm a mess of nerves and second thoughts and what-ifs. But then Sarah arrives, a woman in her 40s with kind eyes and a gentle smile, and something in me relaxes. Hi, Elena, she says. I'm Sarah. I'm going to take you somewhere safe, okay? Somewhere warm and quiet where you can rest. I nod, standing on shaky legs. Grayson stands too. If you need anything, and I mean anything, Sarah has my direct line. Don't hesitate to use it. I won't, I say, though I'm not sure I believe it. Sarah guides me toward the door, but I pause, turning back to Grayson. Why did you help me? Ask one more time. Really? He's quiet for a moment, his expression thoughtful. Then he says, because a long time ago, someone helped me when I had nowhere else to turn. And I swore that if I ever had the power to do the same for someone else, I would. Every time. No exceptions. It's not a romantic answer. Not a declaration of interest or attraction. Just human kindness. The kind that's been missing from my life for so long. Thank you, I say again. Be safe, Elena. And then Sarah and I are walking down the hallway out a back entrance into a car that smells like lavender and has soft music playing. You're safe now, Sarah says as she drives. I know it doesn't feel like it yet. I know you're probably waiting for the other shoe to drop. But you're safe. And it gets better. I promise. Do you believe in promises like that? Can it really get better? Or is that just something we tell ourselves to make the unbearable bearable? I stare out the window at the rain, at the darkness, at the world that suddenly feels both terrifying and full of possibility. And for the first time in 3 years, I let myself hope. I never thought I'd be able to leave. It took everything in me to finally run. But so many others can't escape, can't even imagine a life outside that dark room. If you believe in freedom and change, subscribe. Help give more women like me a voice. The safe house is exactly what it sounds like. A small cottage on the edge of Grayson's territory, surrounded by trees, isolated but not lonely. Sarah shows me around. Bedroom, bathroom, kitchen stocked with food, living room with comfortable furniture and soft blankets. There's no TV, she explains, because we've found it can be triggering. Too many sounds, too much unpredictability. But there are books, puzzles, art supplies if you want them. I nod, taking it all in. It's more than I expected. More than I deserve. The doors lock from the inside, Sarah continues. Only you have the key. Not even Grayson can enter without your permission. This is your space. Your space. Your key. Your permission. These concepts feel foreign. Revolutionary. There's a panic button in every room, she says, pointing to small red buttons mounted on the walls. Press it and security will be here in under 3 minutes. But you shouldn't need it. This place is monitored 24/7. Nobody gets close without us knowing. Monitored. I repeat. You mean watched. Protected. Sarah corrects gently. There are cameras on the perimeter, not inside. Your privacy is yours. But we keep watch to make sure nobody unwanted approaches. I should feel relieved. I do feel relieved. But there's also a part of me that's waiting for the catch. For the moment when this all turns out to be too good to be true. Get some rest, Sarah says. I'll be back tomorrow to check on you and talk about next steps. But for tonight, just rest. After she leaves, I lock the door. Test it twice to make sure it's really locked. Then I wander through the cottage, touching things like I'm afraid they'll disappear. The bed is soft. The towels are fluffy. The food in the fridge is real and abundant, and I can eat whenever I want without asking permission. I take a shower, a long, hot shower with water pressure that's perfect and soap that smells like roses. I wash away the rain, the fear, the feeling of Daniel's hands on my skin. When I finally crawl into bed, wrapped in soft pajamas that Sarah left for me, I expect to lie awake all night. Expect the anxiety to keep me wired and alert. But exhaustion wins. Within minutes, I'm asleep. And I dream. Not of Daniel. Not of fear or pain or running. I dream of gray eyes and a steady hand. Of a voice that says the choice is always yours and means it. I dream of possibility. Morning comes with sunlight streaming through windows I forgot to close the curtains on. I wake slowly, disoriented, my heart racing until I remember where I am. Safe. I'm safe. The realization is so overwhelming I have to sit up and breathe through it. There's a knock at the door. My whole body tenses. It's Sarah, a voice calls. I brought breakfast. I unlock the door, check the peephole first, because old habits die hard, and let her in. She's carrying bags from what smells like a bakery. Fresh pastries, coffee, fruit. Thought you might be hungry, she says with a smile. We eat together at the small kitchen table. She doesn't push conversation, doesn't ask invasive questions. Just makes small talk about the weather, the cottage, the books on the shelf. It's so normal it almost hurts. After breakfast, she says, "So, let's talk about what comes next." My stomach clenches. Okay. First things first. Do you want to press charges against Daniel? Charges. Legal action. Making it official. Part of me screams yes, he should face consequences. But the practical part, the part that survived 3 years of abuse, knows better. What would that accomplish? I ask. Justice. Protection. A legal barrier between you and him. And if it doesn't work? If he gets out on bail, if the charges don't stick, if he comes after me anyway? Sarah nods, like she expected this response. Those are valid concerns. The legal system isn't perfect, especially in cases like this. But Grayson has connections. Lawyers who specialize in domestic abuse cases. They can help build a strong case. And what about after? What about when I need to rebuild my life, and there's a legal battle hanging over everything? Also valid, Sarah says. Elena, there's no right answer here. Some women find empowerment in pressing charges. Others find it re-traumatizing. You get to decide what's right for you. What's right for me? That phrase again. The freedom to choose. Can I think about it? I ask. Of course. Take all the time you need. We talk about other things. Practical things. I need new identification since Daniel controlled all of that. I need a bank account in my own name. I need to figure out employment, housing, a plan for the future. It's overwhelming. Sarah sees it on my face. We don't have to figure it all out today, she says gently. We're just making a list. One step at a time. One step at a time. I can handle that. Over the next few days, that becomes my mantra. One step at a time. Sarah helps me get a new ID. Grayson's lawyers help me open a bank account and file for separation. One of the women from the shelter helps me update my resume and apply for jobs. And through it all, Grayson keeps his distance. True to his word, he doesn't push, doesn't demand updates or expect gratitude or insert himself into my recovery. But he's there, in the background, making sure I have everything I need, making sure I'm safe. And slowly, so slowly, I almost don't notice it happening, I start to breathe easier. It's been 2 weeks when I see him again. I'm in the cottage, working on a job application, when there's a knock at the door. I check the peephole, Grayson.
My heart does something complicated.
Not fear, exactly. But not calm either. I open the door.
Hi, he says.
He's holding a bag. I know Sarah's been bringing you groceries, but I thought you might like something different. There's a bakery in town that makes these chocolate croissants that are... He trails off, looking almost sheepish.
Anyway.
Thought you might like them. It's such a normal gesture. So unexpectedly thoughtful. Thank you, I say, taking the bag. The smell alone is incredible. We stand there awkwardly for a moment. Do you want to come in? I ask, surprising myself. Only if you want me to. Always giving me the choice. I do, I say. We sit at the kitchen table. I make coffee, something I've gotten good at in my time here, relearning how I like it without someone telling me it's wrong. How are you doing? Grayson asks. There are days I still feel trapped in my head, but I'm learning to live again. There's strength in freedom, but others are still hiding, still scared. If you believe that no one should have to suffer in silence, subscribe. Let's make sure they can hear us. It's a simple question, but nobody's really asked me that. They've asked if I'm okay, if I need anything, if I feel safe. But not how I'm doing. I pause, trying to find the right word. I'm beginning. Does that make sense? Like I'm at the very beginning of figuring out who I am. He nods. It makes perfect sense. Sarah's been amazing. I continue. And the lawyers and everyone who's helping me. I've applied for a few jobs. Started thinking about what I want to do, where I want to live. That's good. That's really good. And you, I say. You kept your promise. You gave me space. I said I would. Most people don't mean it when they say things like that. I'm not most people.
No.
He's definitely not.
We talk for a while.
About nothing important. About books and weather and the way the forest looks in the morning.
It's easy.
Comfortable. Like talking to an old friend. And somewhere in that conversation, something shifts. The fear that's been my constant companion starts to quiet. Not disappear. I don't know if it'll ever fully disappear, but quiet. Because I'm realizing something important. Not all powerful men are dangerous. Not all protection comes with strings. Not all kindness is a trap. Some people are just good. Do you believe that? That some people are just genuinely good? Or have you been hurt enough times that you can't trust it anymore? I'm learning to believe it again.
Slowly. Carefully.
But I'm learning. A month after the night I hid under the table, Daniel shows up at the safe house. I don't see him coming. Don't hear him approach. I'm in the garden. I've taken to gardening, finding something therapeutic about getting my hands in the dirt, when I sense someone behind me. I turn. And there he is. My body's response is immediate and visceral. Heart racing, palms sweating, every muscle tensing for fight or flight. Elena, he says. His voice is soft. Gentle. The voice he uses when he's trying to manipulate me into thinking he's sorry he's changed. It'll be different this time. You need to leave, I manage to say. I just want to talk. 5 minutes. That's all I'm asking. I don't care what you're asking.
Leave. Now.
He takes a step closer. You can't just throw away 7 years of marriage. We made vows. For better or worse, remember? The worst part is over. I'm done. You're being dramatic. Emotional. You know how you get when you're upset. There it is. The gaslighting. The attempt to make me doubt my own reality. But I'm not the same woman who hid under a table a month ago. I've had therapy, support, space to remember who I am. I'm not upset. I say clearly. I'm done. There's a difference. His expression hardens. You think you can just walk away? You think that Alpha King is going to protect you forever? He'll get bored.
Move on.
And you'll have nothing. No home, no money, no one who gives a damn about you. Is he right? The fear tries to whisper. What if he's right? But then I remember Grayson's steady gaze. Sarah's kindness. The lawyers who fought for me. The counselor who helped me understand that abuse isn't love. I have myself, I say. That's more than I had with you. Daniel's face twists with rage. He lunges forward. And suddenly Grayson is there. I don't know where he came from. Don't know how he appeared so fast. But 1 second Daniel is reaching for me, and the next he's on the ground with Grayson's hand around his throat. She told you to leave, Grayson says, his voice deadly calm. I'm only going to say this once. You will never come near her again. You will never contact her, speak to her, or even think about her. If I hear that you've so much as breathed her name, I will make your life a living hell. Do you understand me? Daniel is gasping, clawing at Grayson's hand. You can't. I can. I will. And I'll enjoy it.
Now. Do. You.
Understand. A strangled yes escapes Daniel's lips. Grayson releases him, stepping back. Get out of my territory. If I see you here again, I won't be this generous. Daniel scrambles to his feet, his face red, his eyes full of impotent rage. He looks at me one last time, and I see it the moment he realizes he's lost. That his control is gone. That I'm beyond his reach. I'm not running anymore. I'm standing here, strong and free. But my story isn't over. There are still so many out there who need to know they're not alone. You've seen it all. You've been here with me. Don't walk away now. Subscribe and stay part of the fight for freedom. He leaves, and I'm shaking so hard, I nearly collapse. Grayson catches me before I fall, his arms steady and strong. But he doesn't hold on when I don't want him to. Just supports until I can stand on my own. I'm sorry, he says. The security team should have caught him before he got this close. It's not your fault. It is. I promised you'd be safe. I am safe. You were here. I should have been here sooner. I look up at him, at the genuine distress in his eyes. This powerful alpha king who just threatened my husband is upset because he wasn't fast enough to spare me a few seconds of fear. Grayson, I say, you saved me. Again. Stop apologizing for not being perfect and just accept my gratitude. He looks like he wants to argue, but then he nods.
Okay.
But we're adding more security. And a restraining order. And I'm going to learn self-defense, I interrupt. Sarah mentioned classes. I want to take them.
Good.
That's good. We stand there in the garden, the danger past, the sun still shining. And I realize something. I'm not afraid anymore. Not of Daniel. Not of the future. Not of this man standing beside me. What do you think? Is he right? Does Elena belong to him? Or does she belong to herself? The answer is clear now. Crystal clear. I belong to myself. Always have.
Just forgot for a while.
But I remember now. 6 months after the night under the table, I'm standing in my own apartment. It's small. 1 bedroom, a kitchenette, a living room that's barely big enough for a couch and a bookshelf. But it's mine. Paid for with money from my new job. Administrative work at one of Grayson's companies. A position I earned on merit, not charity. Sarah helped me move in. Brought housewarming gifts, plants, because she says I have a gift. For keeping things alive and cooking supplies because she's determined to teach me to enjoy food again. The restraining order against Daniel is in place. He's moved out of state, last I heard. Trying to start over somewhere his reputation hasn't caught up with him yet. I hope his next partner gets away faster than I did. I'm standing in my living room, arranging books on the shelf, when there's a knock at the door. Grayson. I know before I open it. Maybe it's instinct, maybe it's hope, but I know. And I'm right. He's standing in the hallway, looking slightly uncomfortable. It's endearing, seeing an alpha king uncertain.
Hi, he says.
Hi. I brought you something. For the new place. He hands me a package. Inside is a beautiful wind chime, glass and metal, delicate but strong. For the balcony, he explains. So, you always know which way the wind is blowing. It's perfect, thoughtful, exactly the kind of gift that shows he's been paying attention. Thank you, I say. Do you want to come in? I could make coffee. I'd like that. We sit on the couch, my couch in my apartment, drinking coffee I made the way I like it, and talk. About everything and nothing. About his work and my job, and the book I'm reading and the restaurant he discovered. It's easy. Natural. Like we've been doing this forever. And somewhere in that conversation, I realize something. I'm happy. Genuinely. Authentically happy. Not the fragile happiness that depends on someone else's mood. Not the conditional happiness that's only allowed when I've been good enough. Just happy. Because I'm free. Because I chose this life. Because I fought for it and earned it and built it with my own 2 hands. What are you thinking about? Grayson asks. Second chances, I say. Do you believe in them? He's quiet for a moment. I believe in people's capacity for change. For growth. For becoming who they're meant to be. And in love. Do you believe in second chances in love? His gray eyes meet mine, intense and honest. I believe in first chances. Real ones. Built on trust and respect and choice.
Choice.
Always choice with him. I think I'm ready for that, I say. For a first chance. A real one. With anyone in particular? There's hope in his voice, carefully contained but present. Yeah, I say. With you. If you want. If I want. He laughs, soft and genuine. Elena, I've wanted since the moment I saw you under that table. But I would have waited forever, if that's what you needed. I know, I say. That's why I'm ready. He reaches for my hand, slowly, giving me time to pull away if I want. I don't want to. His hand is warm.
Strong.
Safe. We'll go slow, he says. As slow as you need. I know. And if you change your mind, I won't. But I know. The choice is always mine. Always. We sit there, hands joined, coffee growing cold, the afternoon sun streaming through the windows of my apartment. And for the first time in longer than I can remember, I'm not afraid of the future. Because I built this one.
Me.
With help, yes. With support and resources and kindness from others. But ultimately, I chose this. Every step of the way. And I'm choosing this too. This man. This possibility. This chance at something real. Do you believe in second chances? Not just in love, but in life itself? What would you do with your second chance? I know what I'm doing with mine. I'm living. Really, truly living. No more hiding. No more fear. No more shrinking myself to fit someone else's expectations. Just me, Elena, free and whole, and ready for whatever comes next. A year after the night I hid under a table to escape my abusive husband and found an alpha king instead, I'm standing in Grayson's office. It's late. Most people have gone home. But we're still here, working on a project together. He's been teaching me about territorial politics, and I've been helping him modernize some of his administrative systems. We're partners. In work. In life. In every way that matters. You know what's funny? I say, looking up from the documents I'm reviewing. What? A year ago, I was hiding under a table in this building. Terrified. Broken. Convinced I'd never be free. And now I'm sitting at the desk, helping run the territory. He smiles. Quite a change. The best kind. I stand, walking over to where he's sitting. He looks up at me, those gray eyes as intense as ever. Thank you, I say, for seeing me, for protecting me, for giving me the space to find myself again. Elena, let me finish. Thank you for being patient, for being kind, for being exactly what I needed when I needed it most. You did the hard work, he says. All I did was provide a safe space. You did more than that. You showed me what real strength looks like, what real love looks like. And what does it look like?
Choice.
Respect.
Partnership.
Seeing someone at their worst and still believing in their best. He stands, pulling me into his arms. Not possessively, not demandingly, just holding me. I love you, he says. Not because you need me, but because I choose you. Every day. I love you too, I reply. And I choose you. Every day. We're in this together. For better or worse. But this time, the worse is in the past. And the better is everything I've built, everything I've chosen, everything I've become. How would it feel to be seen and protected without judgment? I know now. It feels like home, like safety, like love. And I'm never letting it go. Because this story, my story, it's not about being rescued. It's not about finding a prince to save me. It's about saving myself, finding my strength, making my choices. The Alpha King didn't save me. He just gave me a safe place to save myself. And that's made all the difference.
So here I am.
A year later, alive, free and loved. No longer hiding, no longer scared. And the man who showed me what it means to be truly free, he's standing beside me, not in front of me or behind me, but beside me. As an equal, as a partner, as someone who chooses me every day and who I choose right back. That's the real happily ever after. Not perfection, not rescue, but choice, respect, partnership, love that's built on mutual freedom instead of control. And if you're hiding under a table right now, literal or metaphorical, know this. You can get out. It won't be easy. It won't be quick. It will be terrifying and difficult, and you'll question yourself every step of the way. But you can do it. One step at a time. One choice at a time. One breath at a time. You deserve to be free. You deserve to be safe. You deserve to be loved without condition or control. And when you're ready, when you've done the hard work of saving yourself, maybe you'll find your own gray-eyed alpha king. Or maybe you won't. Maybe you'll find something else entirely. But whatever you find, it will be your choice. And that choice, that freedom, that power over your own life, that's everything. That's the real ending to this story. Not a woman rescued by a man, but a woman who found the strength to rescue herself and then chose, actively, consciously chose to share her life with someone who respects that strength. We're in this together now, Grayson and I, building something new, something better, something based on trust and choice and mutual respect. And every day, I wake up grateful, not just for him, but for myself, for the courage I found, for the choice I made, for the life I've built. So that's my story. The story of how I hid under a table to escape my abusive husband and found an alpha king instead. If you have got along with my story, I think this is the time for you to hit that subscribe button as part of your great support as we build this community together. Will you subscribe now?